back to Onshape Orientation, where today we're going to be talking about the tangent constraint. So like always, let's get started with a sketch. Let's click the top plane, Shift S to start that sketch, P to hide those planes, and N to normalize our sketch. So we're going to be talking about the tangent tool. If we look up here on our toolbar, you'll notice it's a circle and a line. There's a lot of different ways we can do this tangent constraint. We can do circles to circles, circles to arcs, circles to rectangles, circles to lines. Basically from math, what I remember is that a tangential relationship means that a circle is touching at only one point on that. So if we were to take a circle and turn it into a million different points around that whole circle, this line or rectangle or whatever you're going to have, that it could be another circle as well, they're only going to touch the other piece of geometry at one specific point. So I like to show my students that we can start by just trying to replicate what the constraint looks like. So like last week we did parallel, draw two lines, make them parallel to each other. This week we're going to draw a line and a circle, and we're going to give them a tangential relationship. So let's start with a circle, letter C, and just draw that there. Actually, you know what? I'm going to put that directly on my origin. So circle, letter C on that origin. Doesn't matter how big. I'm going to draw a line, and you'll see that looks similar to our tangent tool. If I press the letter T or click up here, hover over again, make a tangent relation between two sketch entities or between a sketch entity and a plane. We'll show that as well. So press the letter T. I can click both, but I like using my selection window. Remember, anything I go to the left, if it's in that orange box, if it's touching it, it's going to select it. And you'll see now it made my circle bigger and moved it up. I think these constraints work again, like I said, from left to right. I know I drew that circle first. So why did it scale that up? Because it was the least defined and from left to right. So left is going to take priority over it. If we were to zoom in super far, you would see that this is touching only at one spot. Now, what is this good for? Okay. Let's say I had another line over here that was also at a tangential relationship like such. And I just wanted this curve. Well, what I could do is come in and trim off my top of those extra lines and then trim the bottom. And now I have a nice curve, right? One of the examples I'm going to show later, think of like a chain. I'll just kind of show you guys right here. We're going to actually draw this together. So you should be able to do this fairly easily. But let's show some other examples. So let's delete all of this and draw a circle and a circle. Let's give them some dimensions this time. We'll say they're both 20 inches in diameter. And we're just going to throw another circle up here on the top, okay? Now I'm going to say these two need to tangent and these two need to tangent. And now we get sort of like a Venn diagram looking thing, right? These two are going to cross over because I didn't give it a dimension. But let's say I told these circles center points to be 25 inches apart. Now I can come through, and we'll do another one down here. Let's make these 15. Let's do the dimension on this. 18. I'm going to tangent this to this and this to this. Now I can come in and clean up all my extra. So I don't need that. I do not need that. And I don't need that. So I'm left with this kind of bean shape, but it's all tangential. So that's circles to circles. We did circles to lines. Now I'm going to draw a rectangle off to the side, and I want this to be tangent to this. So now it's going to touch at that corner, and I could come in and trim off there, and then maybe I need a line that goes from here but then is a tangential relationship here. So then I can say, hey, tangent those two together, zoom in, trim off my excess, and now we're getting somewhere. So we had some drawings when I was in college doing AutoCAD that were very simple, but needed that tangential relationship. And like I said, I used to learn on the Plasma Cam or Design Edge. It was really hard to try to get some of those drawings like that. And this tangent tool makes it 10 times easier to get that done. So we're going to delete this stuff. And for our next example, I'm going to turn my planes back on. So we'll zoom back in. Okay. Kind of going to go at a skewed angle a little bit. So I'm going to draw, we're still on my top plane up here. Okay. But I'm going to draw a circle, and I'm going to tangent the circle with the right plane. And so now if I look at it from the top, you will see that this plane right here, this line that's coming through, is my right plane. You see I have it selected. If I turn to the right or to the left, you will see that it is touching that right plane, and it's at a tangential relationship. So why do I care? We start doing things in 3D. You might want it to be a plane. It needs to be tangent with a plane instead of just with the geometry that you're drawing yourself. A little more complicated for what we need to go over today, but just know you can do that tangent relationship there. Okay. So I'm going to delete all of that, and we're going to start with a sketch with no geometry. We have our origin, and I'm going to show you kind of what we're going to draw today. So this looks like a chain link. It's kind of what I called it. Basically, if you look, we have two circles that are 1.5 inches away from one another. Those circles are 1/4 inch in diameter. Again, if you see this little symbol right here, a circle with a line through it, that doesn't mean no. In drafting, it means diameter. Remember to look down here at your tips and tricks. I said, remember, R means radius, and the radius is half the diameter, and that diameter is that little symbol. So if we come back up here, I have two holes that are both 0.25 or 1/4 inch, so 1 and 2. And those holes exist 1.5 inches away from each other. And the outer holes are, or the outer circles, sorry, are, we have two of them, so 2x means that there's going to be two of them, with a radius of 0.5. Now, this kind of throws my kids for a loop sometimes. If this circle has a radius of 0.5, that means it also has a diameter of 1. So double that radius, right? So then down here as well, I have two radii that are 1. So that means that this circle is going to have a diameter of 2. So let's go ahead and get this set up. We'll start by drawing our 1/4 inch holes, and I'm going to be switching back and forth. But just in the description, if you look, I will have this saved so you can download this as a PDF and try to practice it either for you or for your students or whoever's trying to learn this. So we'll go back to our part studio, and we're going to draw a circle based off the origin that needs to be 0.25. Let's zoom in. This other one needs to also be 0.25. And I'm going to put a dimension between those two of 1.5. We go back to our drawing. We know that I need a circle with a radius of 0.5, so a diameter of 1 around both of those. So circle, center point circle, diameter of 1. Another one over here, diameter of 1. Go back to our sketch. I have all of this and all of this drawn. Now I just need to draw my last radius right here, okay? So radius of 1, diameter of 2. We'll back out of that. Now this is where things kind of get tricky. Everything's all black. It's fixed. It's fully defined. So whatever we draw next is going to get pulled to it, okay? I can draw my circle way over here. I need that diameter to be 2. Enter. So that's one way to do it. Draw it, dimension it, click the circle, tangent, click the circle you want to tangent to, and then click the other one and do it again. Real simple. That's one way. The other way to do it is just draw a circle and then tangent it. 1, 2, then come in and give it that dimension of 2 later. One thing I wanted to show you, I'm going to get rid of both of these circles. Pay attention to how you do it. So if I drew a circle really, really big, obviously all my geometry is inside of this right now, and I were to tell it to tangent, notice it's going to put it on that outside. Remember, I want it to kind of go right here. And it's like, oh, I want it to tangent to this as well. Well, now it's giving me some funky geometry that I don't want because it's encased inside. It thinks that I'm trying to do a different shape. Onshape's really, really smart and really intuitive. But again, it's smarter than we want it to be. So when drawing your shape, try to orient it the way you want it. So I know I want it here. We're going to tell it to, this is the way I work, tangent those, tangent those. Done. Trim up that top. Do it again. Circle, 2, enter. T for tangent. Tangent those two together. Tangent those two together. Come back in with an M tool to trim. Cut that up. Cut my inside that I don't need. Cut that inside that I don't need. And I have the chain link that I wanted you to draw. So what I tell my students to do after they draw something similar to this, select the shaded area and you should get a number. The area I got is 1.85038 inches squared or square inches, and that will be available here on the print as well. Use that as a check. If your numbers are off, you might not have it fully defined. If we look back at my drawing, notice everything is black. There's dimensions everywhere. I know a lot of times students, when they do this, they don't like that these lines are here, so they'll try to delete these, and notice that it changes things to not being fully defined or fully constrained. So if I were to come and move something like that, just from moving my mouse around or whatever, if we click that, obviously now my area went up. So keep that in mind as you're doing your work and you're trying to check to see if you're matching what I'm drawing. Make sure everything is fully defined, fully constrained, and it matches what you're trying to get done. Tangent, like I said, is a really cool tool. Next week, we're probably going to talk about the 2 tools that you'll use more than anything, horizontal and vertical, as well as perpendicular. Fairly simple way to turn lines that you want. So if I'm looking and I'm like, that doesn't look quite straight, I can use horizontal and vertical to make it exactly perfectly straight like I'm looking for, as well as perpendicular. We'll talk about that a little more next week though. So that's going to do it for us this week. Tune in next time, and I hope you guys keep working on Onshape. Thanks.